What's up? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I'm Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me we have some more RPG horror stories. I've literally just woke up, rolled out of bed, found some RPG horror stories, and I'm here recording. If I sound a little bit different or a little bit low pitch, that's because I'm still waking up. It ends up happening, but it's fine. Anyway, enough about my morning voice. Let's get some RPG horror stories for today. When I stumbled upon demonic gooning. Gooning, by the way, is a definition for the lewd, the dirty, the nasty, when you're doing the nasty and stuff. So that's a fun fact for you. How did I learn this? Don't ask. I recently got into D&D. I was eventually able to find an IRL group instead of an online one. I figured this group would be great because I thought only weird stuff happens on a Discord-oriented groups. I joined, and it was typically fun and D&D dungeon delving and typical adventures. There were no warning or red flags. I didn't even expect any suspicious behavior since everyone in the group, including the DM, is a woman but me. Everything was normal until level 3. We had to attack a bandit camp, and the group decided that my character should scout the camp by masquerading as a returning servant. My character went into a camp and stumbled upon a female tiefling graphically Wait, whoa. This is not what I expected to read. This is the first sentence of the second paragraph. I am shocked. My first question would be to ask why the DM thought it was appropriate to put something like that in to stumble upon. Everything was fine. There were no red flags or anything. You just suddenly, out of nowhere, whoa, they have a tiefling playing around out of nowhere. Okay, well, let's continue. I don't know why the DM did this, but it was even worse. She described the demon asking if my character wanted to join her. I was really shocked by this because this totally came out of left field. I would expect a neckbeard DM to do this, not someone from this group. I just responded in character by returning to the rest of the party and just ignored it out of character. Perverts are everywhere. You don't have to be a neckbeard to be a pervert. You could be a perfectly normal person and have a perverted side of you. I'll let you know right now, a lot of my friends that are ordinary are probably one of the most kinky people out there. And just be like that sometimes. I don't know. I don't make the rules. I just live in this world. I mean, I guess myself as well. I seem normal in this channel, but like when I'm not being Morrow, right? Yeah, lewd anime women and stuff. I love these things, but like, anyway, let's get back to this story. It's been a few sessions and I've been pretending it didn't happen. I can't fathom the reason behind this. I have a friend who speculated that maybe the DM was testing to see if I would engage in red flag behavior, but I'm not sure. I know my story isn't that well written or complex. I'm also looking for advice on what I should do next. There are two things you could do. You could either ignore it and probably this event will happen in the future and it's going to be like DM trying to test the waters. I feel like the DM here was just straight up trying to test the waters and see what would happen. You never know when it comes to these sort of DMs. Best thing to do is honestly just talk to them, ask them for the purpose of it and if this kind of thing is going to be in the future, and then depends on the answer, decide if you want to stay in this game or not. Either way, let's get to the next RPG horror story for today. Kick from an otherwise awesome group for not acting like a fighter. For reference, I love taking the vanilla AF fighter builds and developing deep RP around them. It lets me play a central role without hogging the spotlight from other players, and it gives me some writing challenges. Some time back, I created a fighter for my friend's game, and I explicitly made the character hesitant towards violence. He's one of those, I wouldn't start a fight, but I'll end it types, at least when it came to protecting his friends. I kind of based his personality on one of my dogs. For the first few sessions, this was fine. But eventually the DM approached me and said that there were some complaints about my character not acting like a fighter. My immediate concern that I must not have been doing the right things during combat, but none of the complaints were about how it actually performed during combat, and there were no complaints about my build. Instead, I was just told that my character was too much of a Boy Scout to be a fighter. The DM, a history major, told me that the chivalric way that I was playing my character was historically inaccurate and that I should play more aggressively or pick another class. Historically inaccurate? But what if your character is not playing a historically accurate character? What if you're just playing a fighter that just wants to go on adventures with his friends? Historically accurate? It's historically accurate to be a dickhead and jerk instead of just being a good party member? This makes no sense. This argument is benign. This shocked me, as he was normally open to characters that broke stereotypes, and he was a martial artist IRL who was quite a bit of a Boy Scout himself. This wasn't an evil or even edgy campaign, so my character's personality overall wasn't the problem. I was just told to put in with another class instead. Paladins were limited to being god-based only only, and that didn't fit with my character's personality either. I just wanted to play a decent, supportive guy who also knew how to fight and was careful about escalating conflicts. In character creation, is nothing says that you have to play a specific way or be a specific type, specific character when you're making a fighter. Nothing about it says that. It's literally just a class. It's just a class that comes with its own features, comes with its own proficiencies, its own skills. Nothing in the handbook or the DM's guide says that you gotta play a fighter in a specific way, where you gotta be like a himbo or a jerk or a dickhead to people or whatever, or you can be chivalrous. There's nothing wrong with making a character that just isn't gonna be a jerk to everybody and gonna be actually friendly. The only time this could be a problem if the fighter was a pacifist and wouldn't even raise a sword against an enemy to protect a friend, or wouldn't even defend stuff or just run away from combat. That'd be a problem. But in this situation, a guy that wants to try to solve things diplomatically before getting into a fight, there's no problem with that. That sounds like a perfectly fine character to make. Your DM is onto something, and I don't know what they're all about, but it sounds like the DM kind of sucks in this situation. I think the only person having complaints about your character being a goody-goody two-shoes is the DM themselves. I doubt the other players have a problem with your character just not being a just complete and utter dickhead to everybody else around them, because that sounds like a really weird problem to complain about. Hey, fighter, why are you being so nice to me? You're supposed to be a jerk. I don't know any player that would really want to have a problem at a table unless there was some sort of a glutton for punishment and drama. What your DM talking about makes no sense whatsoever, and I don't think you need to swap over to any class or play anything specific to be a good character. Ultimately, despite it being a great group with amazing RP interactions, I chose to leave. Even if I create a new character, I just don't know if I trust the DM to work past these kinds of stereotypes anymore. I recently asked the DM if he thought the caster should immediately jump to try to solve all the problems with spells, and if rogue should try to solve all problems with deception. He basically said yes. Am I missing something here? Yeah, you're missing out on great adventures because you're dealing with this DM. I'm glad you left the group. This DM is not worth it whatsoever. This DM is not worth their salt. Yes, the default way to play a rogue would be more sneaky, stabby. But there are also ways you can build your rogue to play in any different way. Arcane tricks to allow them to use magic a little bit more often, so they solve things with magic and illusion rather than just with subterfuge the whole time. Or maybe your rogue is more of a social con artist that's finds a way to socially engineer a situation to get something out of people, to find a way to screw somebody over behind the scenes but in social matters, or to dominate the area socially. Maybe you're more brazen like a swashbuckler and you actually embody the spirit of a pirate, and your whole ordeal is to try to basically taunt the enemy to do something terrible and stupid while you take the advantage of their weakness. And as a spellcaster, there's so many ways to play. Spellcaster depends on your class and subclass. You don't have to stick to one way, one stereotype. You could do whatever the hell you want. The opportunity to create various nuanced characters is freaking limited in this freaking game. What is this DM talking about? I mean, yeah, there are gonna be some limitations at the end of the day, but as long as you work with your DM and you create a character that both y'all can be happy for, I see no problem with it. I think this DM sucks, and I'm glad you left. I hope you can find a better group that isn't gonna force you into a specific bubble or specific stereotype or specific corner just because you want to play freaking fighter of all things. Fighter has the samurai subclass, which is all about like persuasion and getting proficiency in persuasion and performance. This DM just sucks. Moving on to the next story. The DM's NPC does everything while the players stand back and watch. Please tell me, am I the a-hole? The other players didn't see anything wrong with this. A little background. We're playing DSA, a German knockoff of D&D. What you need to know is in DSA, your character is weak as crap. I once did the math. Even a character with the best stats possible fails to climb a tree most of the time. As a result, the scenarios are much less epic than a regular D&D campaign. In most sessions, we fight one monster or there's one room with a trap. In the previous session, we're given the task to find out why people go in a certain forest keep disappearing. We found out that it was a gigantic telepathic spider that lives in the cave and controls other smaller spiders, and they keep eating humans. That session was pretty good. Now the horror session. The guild sent us to kill the giant spider to make the forest safe again. It's the players, 12 NPCs joining us, and the DM as an NPC leader, Ralph. I changed the name. We're in front of the spider cave. We learned at this session that the spider doesn't like fires, and then the cave is dark, so it's difficult to see in there. I suggest setting the cave on fire, luring the spiders out so we can have a better shot. Ralph responds, which is really DM speaking, "What makes you think you can tell us what to do?" Because it was a good idea and it was time to group brainstorm together. Maybe you can smoke the spider out as well as its minions to the broad daylight. And if they don't like fire and they don't like daylight, then you could totally use it to like ambush the spiders, and if not, maybe suffocate them. Because I'm pretty sure spiders still need oxygen. I mean, I don't know, man. It sounds like a reasonable solution. Why is Ralph being such a weirdo about it? So we go in a dark cave with torches so we can see. We miss the giant boss spider right in front of us because it's so dark. But the fight begins. Ralph lunges to attack the boss spider. It summons tiny spiders to attack us. The other members of the party, who are played by the DM, create a circle with the torches and stand inside it. Oh, by the way, they didn't tell us the plan. The DM just said to do so and strongly suggests that we are stupid if we don't follow suit. The spiders were afraid of fire, so only a couple of spiders came through the circle at a time, and we could fend them off. Okay, I gotta be honest, I really don't like the fact that DM implying that if you didn't know you're supposed to do this, then you're stupid. I've been in the Archer roleplay group, so like if your character is not supposed to just mind read the action of somebody else, if you're supposed to know this, it should be very clear and apparent, not that you have to be a freaking mind reader for that sort of thing, and for the DM to try to like underhandedly say basically like, if you don't know that you do this then you're an idiot, is really weird. I don't know why your DM is being so aggressive over this. You guys didn't even do anything bad. You just want to accomplish a task and you're going in with a freaking army to deal with this thing. Ralph summons a fire elemental. Did I mention DSA characters are weak as crap? We were first level characters. That would be a highest level spell. Technically DSA doesn't have levels, but you get the point. The entire rest of the fight, the DM narrates an epic battle with Ralph, the fire elemental, and the spider, while we are in a circle fending off tiny spiders. Well, leave it up to the DMPC with the most powerful spell in existence to deal with the problems that are having the players do it. If you have players that are level 1 that can take on this spider or can be like marginally useful in this fight, just to give your DMPC the shining light of spotlight and everything with a fire elemental of all things, then what's the real point? Your players aren't your audience to see your cool badass DMPC. They are players. They want to play the game and participate and actually be part of something. They want to do something useful. Why not give them a scroll of summoning a fire elemental to help them in this endeavor, and then have them figure out how to work it and when to summon it and what's the best time to use it, and commanding the fire elemental to fight the spider for them, or something along the lines of that. That would have been way more cool than just sitting in the background watching this cool other guy, the DMPC is running, fight off this cool spider and just being like, yep, okay, oh spider, squish. Alright DM, sorry, I had to just kill a spider. I'm your audience, I'm your trapped audience member. I'm ready to watch you be cool. Because apparently that's the only thing you get to do in this game. Watch the DM, have the DMPC be cool. People don't like DMPCs for a reason. It's because DMs get so full of themselves when they have the super cool, awesome DMPC and the thing they're writing is the coolest story ever. It's not cool or interesting for anybody else except yourself, DM. Consider the other people at the table, for once. I was expecting a bit of good storytelling. If you have an overpowered NPC fighting the villain, I thought that he dies and now it's up to the players to finish the job. I thought the circle made of torches would fail, so we'd get at least a bit of challenge, but that never happened either. One player shot an arrow at one of the big spider legs, and that didn't seem to make any difference at all. Ralph defeated the big spider, and with it, all the other spiders died too. Yay! Players get to do nothing and watch the DMPC do the cool thing and get to feel marginally useless. Fantastic. At one point I decided I'm out if I don't get to do stuff. I could shapeshift, so my plan was to get out of the dungeon, disguise myself as Ralph, and collect the paycheck Ralph would get. But as soon as I got out of the circle of torches, I was bitten by a poison spider and died. To summarize, the DM plays an overpowered character who is probably a character he made for another campaign. The DM gets to fight the boss monster while we poke at a tiny spider, and we're not even allowed to strategize to come up with a plan. The DM tells us what to do and punishes any deviation from what he wants. The other players acted as if this was normal. That's how every session goes. Maybe in the we have D&D at home knockoff, but what's the point of having an RPG then? Why do we get to design characters and tell stories if we're just soldiers to get told what to do? And if you're playing on rails with no agency, why can't we at least play the cool guy? What was the point of us being there if an NPC does everything? I'll give you the answer, but you won't like it because you guys are trapped audience members. It is a ploy for some DMs to basically create the story and to make you feel like you're gonna be part of this big plot and big thing, gonna have play agency, and your character's gonna matter. Only for the DM to just turn it around and be like, hey guys, just watch my cool DMPC do everything cool, because that's way better storytelling. Some DMs just are just so busy sniffing their own farts. They're just unable to realize that, hey, everybody at the table should be having fun, especially the players, the main cast of the story, the people that put together the character. There's nothing wrong with having a cool DMPC help out the party, but they have to be a supporting cast for your players, which are their main cast. There's nothing wrong with having important NPCs in your world that actually do something substantially important and substantially useful, but also find ways to make the players at your table feel useful, feel productive, feel like they're part of the story and part of the main quest, no matter what the quest is. Make it feel important and useful, regarding if you're playing DSA or D&D or Pathfinder or any TTRPG in the world. The whole point is that there are players playing at a table with you. They're not your trapped audience members for your play or your book. If you want to write a story, write a book or a play. Don't play out your book or story in a TTRPG medium, which is what this DM has done. Either way, OP, I hope you can find a better group and a better DM, because you deserve something way more than this. You received crap, and I can't believe everybody's settling for crap when they should be experiencing a story together. Wishing you good luck and hope you find a better group for yourself. And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.